welcome to the second of this advanced reseller training webinar series that we are doing. I'm going to share my screen. Last week we discussed the importance of setting yourself apart as a restaurant tech advisor. This week we're going to talk about how to walk into a restaurant with confidence, having done your research and knowing what you're going to talk about before you even walk through the door. It all starts there, where you have a list of restaurants in your area, maybe all restaurants in your area. You're like, well, which restaurants am I going to go talk to, and how do I start that conversation? And so we're going to talk today about a lot of things that you can do beforehand, doing some market research and things like that. So cold calling success rates industry-wide are only about 1 to 3% versus warm outreach at 15 to 21%. As you can see, researching prospects makes you 5 times more likely to get a meeting, and they convert at 8 times higher rates. So that's not surprising, right? If you actually know something about the restaurant when you walk through the door, you're more likely to develop a rapport with the owner or manager, and you're more likely to get them to want to sign up. So what does some good and bad examples of that look like? So a bad example might be you walk in, you say, hi, do you need this stuff that we're selling? And the restaurant owner goes, no, we don't need anything anyone's selling. A better approach would be you come in, you say, hey, I was checking you guys out on Yelp the other day. I noticed that you've had some complaints about people waiting 20 plus minutes for pickup orders. I know how busy kitchens can get, but we help this other restaurant reduce their wait time to under 10 minutes. We help you as well, right? So you're going in and you're mentioning right off the bat that you've done your research, you know something about that restaurant, you know an issue that they're having, and that you have a solution for them. That's going to convert at a much higher rate than just going in and talking about the features of whatever it is you happen to be selling that day. Especially restaurant owners, they have salesperson fatigue, right? Because so many people visit restaurants to sell them something, from food vendors to, I don't know, internet people to credit card processors. They're constantly inundated with salespeople. So you have to go in and do something that will set yourself apart. And you can do that through researching the restaurant ahead of time. When you are researching, you want to think about your ideal restaurant prospect would look like. We've all, I think, spent time talking to prospects that were maybe not our ideal prospect, right? And you kind of get the feel from that right off the bat. They're resistant for whatever reason. They don't really get it. You feel like you're kind of having to double sell them. First, sell them on the need to be online in this 2025 year we're in. And then you have to also sell them on signing up with you. So the idea here is that we look for ideal restaurants, being restaurants that are going to really buy into the system. They're going to get it, right? They're going to want to work with you. They're going to be a joy to work with, and they're going to be very successful. And they're going to make a lot of money and make you a lot of money. So what I did was I took our top, as ActiveMenus, I took our top 10 restaurants. I put it in ChatGPT deep research. I said, hey, ChatGPT, what's similar about these 10 restaurants? Go out, do the research, look online, and come back and tell me what's good about. I also did the same thing with the top or the bottom 10 restaurants, and the differences were striking, right? So what you're looking at is you want to look at restaurants that are consistent. They're consistently open 8+ hours a day, right? That they are doing dine-in, maybe delivery, maybe catering. They have 40+ recent reviews. I would add on that they have, probably at least 400 Google reviews total. It just shows that the restaurant is established, that they have a good reputation, and above all else, they have some activity, right? That they have some things that they're actually doing. They're out there wiggling in the world. They're part of their community, and they have things going on that is going to make them successful. The truth of the matter is, if you take the bottom 10% of restaurants and you give them all the tools in the world to make them successful, and you throw them advertising dollars at them, unfortunately, nothing will make them successful, right? Because there's something inherently wrong. Either they have bad food, they have bad service. There's some issue that's blocking them from being successful. So you don't want to spend your time talking to those when you could be spending that same time out there talking to good prospects who are going to be very successful. And as always, guys, feel free to jump in while I'm going through the giving examples or asking questions. So, of course, also want to look at geographical. Of course, you want to make at least medium population density in that area, a majority of deliveries are going to happen within 3 or 4 miles, right? So under 3 to 4. So if you're in a rural area where there's not many people living within 5 miles of that restaurant, then that restaurant's probably not going to get a lot of delivery. Area like New York, Los Angeles, something like that, you're going to get a lot more deliveries than everywhere in between. So just pay to the geographical location. Of course, professional areas are very good, and it's going to matter what you talk to them about, right? If you have a restaurant that's in a very industrial area that has a lot of office buildings and warehouses and things like that, like maybe the conversation is more about catering. Maybe if you're in a little more rural area, maybe the conversation is more about versus delivery. So you want to kind of target your messaging to who you're talking to and also where those people are located. Of course, you can get a lot of this information off Google. As I mentioned, having a lot of Google reviews is really a big indicator for us as to how good the restaurant's going to do. But you can also look for issues with their Google business profile, things that you can bring up while you're talking. Do they have a lot of 4+ star reviews? Do they have common complaints like the phone is always busy? If you go on their Google profile and you see multiple people complaining about not being able to reach them via phone, well, voice AI might be a solution to that. If they're having issues with order consistency, having customers place the orders online rather than call them in might be a solution to that. So you want to take a look at everything in Google, social media, all these places to look for insights that you can use when you walk through the door to start the conversation with the restaurant. Yelp tends to be a place for a lot of negativity. So people don't typically go on Yelp to post positive. So that's a good place to look at to see where the problems might because people tend to use Yelp more to complain more so than they do like Google business lists. So another great place to look for things that you can bring up with the restaurant. Media, lots of places you can look in social media. Very rarely have I ever been to a restaurant social media page and it be perfect, right? Nothing missing, everything's accurate, it's just perfect. So that's a great place to look. Like, do they have a website listed on there? Do they have a correct phone number? Do they have an order link in their bio? Do they post regularly, right? Do they post including a way for the customer to order, really? Are their socials added to their Google? This stuff, are they just posting on one social media and not others? So all this stuff is very important to look at when you're looking because you're going to be identifying gaps in what they're doing that you can bring to their attention and give them a solution. One idea for social media, you can create a list of the 20 most engaging local Instagram hashtags for each prospect and give us a freebie to break the ice through your first cold outreach. So different people call this different things. I've heard it called lead magnets. I've heard it called these door openers, icebreakers, whatever you call this, right? So this is an example of something that you can give real value to the restaurant, with them, that you can just give away for the, you can do this research once, you can give away multiple times, and it's a way for you to just provide value to them and make them say, hey, well, if he's giving me this value for free or she giving me this value for free, imagine for me ongoing if I actually work with them. ChatGPT is your friend. Of course, Claude, all AI is your friend. If you don't use AI, reach out to me. I'll be happy to have a one-on-one with you, teach you how to use it and show you some use cases. We'll probably do a webinar just on AI at some point. It's important. It's an extremely valuable tool in health and also getting, just contact information like that. We have some tools on our reseller portal that can help tools. Definitely needs to do, but also doing some research on your own with your own AI account is huge. All right. So what do we do with all this? So what you want to do is once you have all the information that you're restaurant with, you have your lead magnet icebreaker, you have your list of issues that you marked down with that restaurant. You want to approach that restaurant as a friendly neighbor. And basically what that means is, like, you're not going to walk in and say, Hey guys, I made a list of reasons you guys suck, and I just that's not going to be received. But it could be something as simple as, hey guys, I was just checking you guys out online the other day. I love to eat here. I noticed you guys were missing stuff on your profiles. I'd love to help you out. And it's like, and go from there. And so that starts building that relationship, and maybe it's something you don't even make money on in that first approach. But once you solve one problem with it for them, and especially if you solve it for free, then they're going to be much more with you in problems that are going to cost them money. Yep, that's a good deal. So just like last week for you, go through your leads list, create a leads list, 5 to 10 restaurants that matches your ideal restaurant profile. Craft some personalized restaurants for each of these leads for your cold outreach. Again, these should not be the same for every restaurant. This should be based on the read you've done and should be specific to that restaurant. From there, messaging in your approach, from what works, fix what doesn't, and then repeat with your next 10 to 10. So from here, I think I'd like to take a look at a restaurant that actually gave us we'll just kind of do a little this research together at it and see what we see that can be done at it too. But you guys look too. If there's anything that you see that you want to point out, you can just jump in and point it out, and we'll do it together. So, Creole restaurant. It seems to be a Spanish restaurant in Connecticut. Firstly, I'll notice that they have 1.7 thousand Google reviews. That's very good. Good amount of Google reviews. 0.5-star rating, also good. That's right, kind of in that restaurant suite at. That's good. We'll come back up to this area here. List of their reviews. We got people like the food. Food's delicious. Music's always good. The owner Brenda is amazing. Great local restaurant with awesome Spanish food, reasonably priced. I do. Why wasn't that one 5 stars? What do they got to do to get that last star? So we'll open up this and let's go ahead and try to see if some information about the food. Order 3, had to wait in-house. Ordered ahead and drove 35 minutes and waited in the lobby extra 15 minutes just get you guys to say that what I ordered wasn't available anymore and that the order was never made. So right here, I know that one thing that could help with that review is just simply having us handle the orders, right? Whether that's calling orders or orders placed online. If we're handling the customer service and we find out that item's not available, we are going to call the customer. We're going to say, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm sorry, but what you ordered isn't available. Can we get you something different? And so that will reduce how upset their customers get. Restaurants just don't have time to do that, right? So that's what makes it really valuable for them to work with someone like us. Food is amazing. Attitude from one of the girls wasn't good. Nothing we can do about that. 4 p.m. Can't do anything about that. Good food, terrible service. Ordered my mom, who's 9-1, some roasted pig. We placed the order and pick a time. So, I mean, that's kind of a seasonal thing. So we'll move on from the reviews, but I think you get the idea of what we're looking for. Spend some time viewing the reviews, but also you can, copy all this, paste it into ChatGPT or another AI, and ask it to give you a summary, right? Give me a summary of these reviews and point out the most common issues. It'll do that for you, and then that can reduce your prospecting time significantly. So let's see, that goes all the way to the bottom. So we'll go back to what they have going on. They have one provider for takeout on their Google Business profile, one provider for delivery. I don't know if that's because they're not on DoorDash or Uber Eats or just because that's the only provider that's on the Google Business listing. Well, pretty good restaurant website, right? Not fancy. It's got all the right information though. It's got the hours of operation. It's got some socials. Copyright 2024. So it's been updated at least fairly recently, at least within the last couple of years. It's got some reviews on it. We can check out their menu. It looks like they've won some awards and stuff, so that's great. They even have some YouTube videos. Very cool. Contact, I would just go ahead and make a note, right, of the email address and phone number. That's just a good thing to note. Pop on over to Facebook here. 13,000, very, very an impressive restaurant. They have a Spanish restaurant. They have their address. They have their phone number. They have email. They have their restaurant website. I don't think they have an order online button anywhere on here. So they do have online ordering software that they work with. Tap to eat. Oh, is it not working? It's not working. So they do not have an online ordering software, or at least not an operating one. So a restaurant to reach out to, and they button on their website. Having an order online button on your website that is sticky and will move with you when you scroll, definitely increases the number of orders that a restaurant gets. Of course, since they don't have an online ordering, they don't have the online ordering link. They just have the link to the restaurant, which does not have an online ordering button. So if you're a hungry customer that's watched a YouTube video or Facebook video or Instagram video, and you're like, man, I'd like to order some food from this place, it's kind of like, well, where do I do it? I can't find it here. I can't find it on the website. I can't find anywhere to place the order. Important thing to speak about with the restaurant. Let's see what they have here. They have dine-in, outdoor seating, and in-store pickup listed. I noticed what's missing, right? Delivery is missing here. Catering is missing from here. Something you could talk to the restaurant about. 706 reviews here, 84%. You can go well. And we'll move on to Instagram. On Instagram, they have 5,163, which is Facebook. That's okay. I noticed, again, they don't have an online ordering button anywhere on here. I'm not sure what this is. This is like a photo gallery. Oh, they won Best of Hartford Readers Poll. Very cool. In 2019. So they won that award in 2019. They're still holding on to that award, putting it out there on their Instagram page where anyone who might be wanting to order would click on a link here, and they're just seeing that reward, but no way to actually place the order. So I think you guys get the idea. They do work with DoorDash and Uber Eats, as you can see here. At least they did whenever this was posted. So yeah, that's some of the things I'd be looking at for this restaurant and restaurants similar to it. Any questions on this or anything you guys saw that I missed? Matt, do you want to add anything? Do you have anything to
add? Nothing specific to add to that, Brian. That was solid. You guys know I'm always just rocking one thing out after another over here. So I'm heads down looking at the machine.
Very cool. Very cool.
No.
And change your mind about this restaurant? You think you might want to give it another shot?
Her point was like she's super busy. I mean, the line's literally out the door every time I go there. So
yeah,
I guess the reason why she got rid of Uber and DoorDash was that I guess they couldn't keep up staff wise.
Sense. Well, you could do AI voice ordering because people are still calling your restaurant, and that's taking up her staff's time, right?
For sure.
So that's always something you can lead in with. Time, save her staff's time.
Right.
Because I guarantee you they're not answering the, you know what I mean, ever. So that's definitely something you could bring up.
Right.
Yeah.
Will do.
Very good. Well, that's the end of our presentation this week. Any general topics you guys would like to have? Any questions that came up this week when you were out talking to restaurants, or any onboarding?
I do have a few.
Yeah, for sure.
I asked you, I pretty much asked you this one already about the voice AI that is, how they have the tip and everything like that. So to my understanding, you said that when someone calls in, pretty much all that's already baked in. Like there's not an option to not give a tip or whatever, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's all baked in. Customer asked for a breakdown, we would give them the breakdown, and then if they asked to opt that software tip, then we would allow them to.
Okay.
But we don't typically give the breakdown. Like even like we don't list out the tax and
Sure.
all that either, because it just interrupts the flow, and most people don't want. So
I'm basically I had finally get in touch with the Wild Bills, the owner, and we have a meeting Wednesday next week, and I want to, while I have her, I want to basically be able to set up everything. That was the whole hiccup. She kind of disappeared on me, and I wasn't able to get her set up with the online ordering, even though she's all set. But I just, while I have her, I want to with the AI ordering and everything like that. Business. What's the steps that I would need to take to get her pretty much all set? Like, I want to be prepared for Wednesday, so because I might not have another chance to.
yeah, so prior to the testing onboarding call, which have you set that up?
Yeah, so they're all set with the testing as far as they basically onboarded back in May, but like I said, she disappeared, and she has some things.
So what you're going to want to do prior to that meeting is reach out to Xfinity and find out if you're able to be onto her phone line, right? So you want to order takeout delivery, which goes to us. Press 2 to speak to the restaurant, which goes, of course, to the restaurant. So you're going to want to reach out to Xfinity and just find out if that's an option with her current phone line. If not, back and we'll talk about other options. But that's the first step for you.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Does anyone else have anything? Or Cameron, did you have anything else?
No, I'm all set. Thanks.
Awesome. Jenna, you good? Okay, perfect. Cam, Jenna, you guys have a really good chance of winning. Y'all must like texted everyone and tell them the meeting was canceled, so y'all had a better chance. Let's see.
All right. Oh, Charlene.
Yeah, we won't include Charlene. Charlene's my assistant, everyone. If you want to say hi.
Hey guys.
Here we go. All right. Cam, winner.
Awesome.
Tell you, Cam, and then we'll probably be beginning of next week to get you set up for that. I mean that she's already reached out to you about your win week. So if you have any questions or anything about that, Jenna, just let us know. Help you out. Other than that, I appreciate y'all's time today. I hope you guys have a great week. Happy prospecting, and we'll talk to you soon.